Titleist have been known as that, and they actually marketed themselves back in the day as for players, whereas I think now, I don't think that's the thing anymore. I think it's for everyone, and let's find a club that suits you. Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly what you expect, isn't it?
Potentially, we've given him 5 extra yards. That's nice.
Yeah, that's lovely. I'm really impressed by that.
And that's that flight window you want.
Oh yeah, it's nice that, it's nice that. How good was that? For me, this has really come on leaps and bounds as well. It's not just the kind of 7-iron generic, do you fancy 4-iron or not? You get one chance with a golf shot, don't you? So.
Correct. Do we get the number? Do we get the height? Yes, we do. It's better fit, better golfer.
Oh, John.
That's good.
Talk dirty to me, how good's that? Okay guys, you join us today down at Woburn at the Titleist Performance Centre. John, great to see you again. How are you?
I'm good, mate. You?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm really excited today because it's not every day you get the launch of a new set of Titleist irons, and it's certainly not every day you get to come here, even though the weather's not quite doing us justice.
You definitely brought that with you, that's for sure.
I have. But I believe you're going to talk us through some of the new irons today, and we're going to get fitted for them and see just which ones potentially could suit myself and, of course, all the fine viewers at home.
Correct.
So I'm going to leave us in your capable hands for a few moments.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. So what we'll do is, it's entirely up to you. We can talk a little bit about the models first, or we can go in and hit the models and talk. Yeah, just go straight into it. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go with T1 first.
Yep.
So obviously, 4th gen now of the T100. We haven't really changed too much of the specs in terms of like, so you've had a loft change, so it's sitting at 33. We've done some other little bits, sole designs changed a little bit. When you get into the top end in the 4 and the 3 iron, we've put a muscle port in there to help with like launch and specs in that sense. But what I'll do is I'll do less tech talk because I don't want you to think it's going to do one thing and then it does something else. Okay. So I'd like to see how it reacts to you as a player, and we'll get delving in. And
I always like that. I like kind of jumping into a say review, but a fit-in a little bit more blind and just let the ball flight do the talking. 100%. Then we can answer any questions at the end, can't we? Perfect. Okay, guys, there's some spectacular looking irons throughout this set as well, so make sure you do wait until the end and throw a like on it if you want to see what potentially we could end up with in the bag. Right. Wow. They're not safe there, by the way. That is. Let's all congregate there. Perfect.
A few moments later.
Oh, there he is. Right. We've had a warm-up though.
We've had a warm-up.
Been quite good. Actually struck it quite well. Probably shouldn't say that just yet. But we've done a ball fitting as well in the warm-up. So Titleist Pro V1 for me, the preferred ball. And that's through a method of half wedges, full wedges, 7 irons, and just a bit of a Q&A as well. Yeah,
exactly. So based on your preferred ball flight and feel.
Yeah.
And then it basically you execute the shots, half shots, full shots, 7-iron shots, and then it'll recommend based on your delivery and whether you're lacking spin or land angle or
talent.
Type of ball.
Didn't say talent, did it?
No.
Right, come on, Brett. You can stand here. You can be the guy in the way.
Oh, so that's a great idea, actually. So
Bobby's in New York today. For people who, and he actually is in New York as well on holiday.
I can't believe I've got for this job.
That felt really good. Just so you know, that's the target line as well.
Okay, I'll move it. It's fine. Yeah. If it's left on the TrackMan data, we'll just leave it as that.
Yeah, there's some very important, very skilled people just on that green. So
anything we could do to avoid it.
I love that trajectory.
You prefer a lower ball flight, don't you?
Yeah, and I don't know why.
More penetrating.
But I do.
Do you tend to play in windy conditions a lot?
Yeah, probably like this is typical what we get, isn't it, really? Yeah.
Nice.
It's a lovely feel. It's a lovely feel.
So I don't know if you've spotted it all. I mean, we'll go into it in a bit more detail when we're actually delving into the fitting process itself, but the sure fit hosel sleeve has changed in the irons. So what this effectively allows us to do is not just affect the lie of the angle, it also affects the loft. So before where we used to say, you know, we could weaken a loft.
Looks more similar to the driver ones now.
Yeah, so it's driver, wedge, they're all a little bit similar. However, like you can see on the spectrum here that the sleeve's very different in its sense. There's a lot more, we can go 4 degrees up, 2 flat, 2 weak and 1 strong.
This is really interesting as well because whenever we come down here to the Titleist Performance Centre at Woburn, it's always about the message of the fitting, isn't it? It's not,
Correct.
a lot of the time it's about the new products. Obviously today we've got the new T-Series. Last time we came it was the GT drivers. But it's always about that get fitted for the best possible club for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. It's got it. You know, the fitting process itself needs to be more in depth for the player, so that you can effectively get what you need out of it. So if we can affect the lofts on it, so somebody that maybe potentially could have been a T100 player needs it to be a little bit weak, rather than us just guesstimating, or fitters in the industry when they're indoors and they don't have the ability to bend an iron. Now they've got the opportunity to go, I just want to test it maybe a degree weaker, see if we can pull the spin up, see if we can know, affect it that way. But
oh, they've moved.
T150 now, they've moved now, you're all good. He's in his happy place now.
Right, look at that, a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Ooh. A little bit of tech in there as well. I think they've spied a little bit of something in there. This is why I like to do this without kind of being told beforehand, because I use brake seeking shelter twice. Oh, there he is. It's a good job they moved, isn't it? It's a good job they've gone over there.
Did you get it? You can add that in. You know when he goes like, oh, they're well in danger over there. You can then add that one in.
That was literally.
This is why.
That's literally where they were stood as well, isn't it?
It was where
I was
they
just
were
about to
stood.
say, very interesting how you can tell straight away in the difference of kind of blade length in this as well.
Okay.
Like, visually, it does look quite different.
So obviously today's the first one of us doing like media launch or having anybody fit to the product here. So a lot of this is going to be fresh opinions, so it's good to hear. Nice.
It's a marked improvement on the last generation feel wise.
Softer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely softer. And I think potentially the ball fitting we've already done helps that peace of mind as well with that.
Okay.
Guys, throw a like on this because we're stood out here in the pissing rain. you can't watch this and not act.
Nice.
That's as good as I can hit a 7-iron, that. And the ball flight, that right to left, is what I've been working on. I don't know if you remember last time I was struggling with coming across it a bit, but oh, look at that. 7,000 spin, 170 carry. You've got to be impressed by that, John, have you? I want to come under here for a second.
Yeah, let's get under the...
Bring back Bobby. We're also doing a fitting for Brett.
Do you know what? We were joking earlier. One of the guys was in beige. And we were like, somebody's going to turn up in white trousers. It had to be Brett, didn't it?
And he has. Oh, these are the ones that I've been really looking forward to trying. So guys, just come and take a look at these, because I think these could be the game changers for Titleist this year. Lots of other brands have made irons similar looking to this and jam-packed full of tech, but I feel like Titleist now having this in the lineup could be a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, so change of
name. Can we just
name.
explain that screw is not on the actual model as well?
Correct, yeah. So this is just for fit
wondering.
and head purposes.
Yeah.
So it allows us the ability to make the head lightweight or heavier. So in its standard weight, and then you can take that out and reduce it by 6 grams.
Yeah.
It's mainly for swing weighting purposes.
Yeah.
So when we're doing swing weight and then we're testing lighter and heavier, or if we're going longer.
Yeah.
So if you've got a player that is an inch longer than standard, you can make the head lighter so that they don't go into like D9.
So from there, John, because I'm looking at them. Ben and I, we were aiming left because of the potential for shanking and killing a PGA Tour player. I'm looking at that thinking, I'm not sure there's much you can do with that. Like, the spin's exactly where I want it. The carry's a little bit further than what I would usually hit my 7-iron anyway.
Yeah.
And that to me is a match made in heaven, because you know you've got the distance, but you also know you've got the kind of workability and the consistency.
Correct. I mean, the purpose of the start of this fit, you're going to hit every product so we can see what we've got.
I'm not saying call it a day there, by the way.
No. But what we'll do is we'll deep dive a little bit. Obviously, we know you've been using KBS for a while, so it's just a case of making sure your lie angles are correct, seeing if the turf interaction is good and whether you'd like potentially a little bit more height and therefore pull the distance back a little bit to more manageable. Because obviously, anytime a player says, I don't normally hit my 7-iron that far, and the flight window is good but could be potentially better, we can always alleviate that by changing the loft and seeing if we can bring that up.
Love it. That's why you're here, John. That's why you're doing the important stuff, and me and Brett are just stood here messing about.
I thought you were going to say that's why everybody stood inside and I'm out in the rain with you.
They've seen one shank and they've gone. Good to go?
Yep, good to go.
So good, that. Are you hearing that? Thank you. Let me do that. I hate people.
Nah, it's all right. It's part of my job.
Not like Brett. Brett had a caddy the other day. He's hit his shot and just gone, there you go, mate.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm really impressed by this. I don't know if I'm impressed with myself or with the clubs. Or with you, John. That's carried exactly the same number.
Yeah, but just come in at a slightly different angle. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's at 43, whereas the previous one on the same number was 46.
Yeah.
That'll be a good reference.
That was Healy as well.
So a lot of the tech in the heads, the way they've been redefined and improved based on the last year's model is like obviously consistency in flight, consistency in spin. And you can see like consistency on all the models are pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously anytime we work it, so T250 as an example, you can see the land angles down, heights down,
Yeah.
and spins down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you said, well, they're going the same sort of yardage, well, they're doing it in a very different way.
Yeah. So it depends what you want.
100%. Now, obviously, we always fit to our 3D, so we're always going to gain in the sense that we want distance, dispersion, and descent angle.
Yeah.
So distance is not just chasing the most amount of distance we can get, it's more about the consistency of that distance, which you can see across the three models is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Then we'd be looking at dispersion, well, it's pretty tight. And then we'd be looking at descent angle. So anytime we're seeing that, you might say, well, they're really close together, but we've got more peak height there than we have here. So there's more potential gain for us to get there.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at our 3Ds as a whole, you might get a golfer that goes, yeah, but I really like that. It's like, okay, but you are giving up quite a bit of stopping power when you hit greens.
Yeah.
So if you said like, I like that, I like the flight of it, I want to play it when I play links.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you play Parkland, that ball's potentially never going to stop.
For me, I quite like the idea and the skill element of flighting a ball down anyway, though.
Yeah.
So I suppose for me also within the fitting, it's important to think about, right, are you losing that ability?
Correct.
Or
well, if the height's never there,
you can't bring it down.
Yeah, you can't bring it down because it's already too low.
Love it. Every time I walk away from here, John just hit me with an absolute cracker. So straight away, T350, a little bit bigger, a little bit more offset, a little bit thicker top line. I think I've nailed all that, haven't I, really? Looking at that. Probably wouldn't be visually for me, but we'll give it a go because it's not all about how a club looks. And the guys at home who are watching, I know will be commenting below saying it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it performs, because I'm learning to listen to you guys a lot more. But
the interesting one is when you see players that go into this that are good players and they're usually used to a particular look.
Yeah.
And you give them into something. Well,
yeah,
I comment that now, not after the shank. That would have been a different comment then.
Gone there. That is the first one that's just. I'm not saying it's the club, but
no, but you do get. So you've got to remember that mental psyche can come into it a little bit when it. Golf's one of the most mental sports there is.
Yeah.
So if a player sees that there's less loft or bigger offset, that can have an effect on your delivery pattern. So that's the first one that you really actually went into the ground, trying to launch it up. It's almost like if you could switch that off and just swing as normal and see what it does, that would be a prime example.
Yeah, I think that's just a nice swing, really.
Yeah, so just an easy, casual swing, don't have to pick it. The design of the head and the way the infrastructure works
does look good. And these are a set of clubs, I think, which could kind of redefine who plays a Titleist iron, because in the past, Titleist have been known as that, and they actually marketed themselves back in the day as for players, whereas I think now, I don't think that's the thing anymore. I think it's for everyone, and let's find a club that suits you. Look 100%. At that though, and this is what I anticipated with this.
So if you look at that, right?
Long that,
that first one, yes, it's gone longer, but that first one you tried to dig out of the ground, it came out low.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I said to you, if you could just switch it off and put your normal
swing on. Felt like a personal
on,
dig that, John, but okay.
Yeah. you hit normal swing and land angle goes up.
Yeah.
82 feet of height. So in the strongest loft, most forgiving iron, you got the most amount of height so far. Land angle's a little bit different because obviously its strongest spin rate's going to come down.
And we've picked up like another 8 yards on top of what's already a gain.
But it just goes to show that the models that we design, they have to have the 3Ds in mind.
Yeah.
So it can't just be like it just shoots out and goes miles. It's still got to have the ability to get peak height on there.
Yeah. What we got?
So you can take a video of this on the camera.
So this is the one we don't have in the bags.
Correct.
250 dash.
250
star dash.
Hash in it.
What does that look
It's
like?
not a hashtag, is it?
Oh, it's a star.
Right, we're trying to show the camera, not you.
That's great camera like that. Hold on, let me have
Bring
a look.
back Bobby. So this, I think I remember this, is the same as the 250, but a little bit more loft.
Correct, it's a
Essentially.
launch spec version
Launch
of the
spec.
250.
When you said that, because when you say launch spec in a car, it's just like a colour and a trim, isn't it? So I was thinking, oh, it's the launch one, but it's the launch one. That looks really nice visually, though.
Yep, so
Very
more
traditional.
conventional loft, so
Yeah.
35.
And interesting because I'm told that these are potentially for like maybe golfers who've lost a bit of speed, want to get the ball up in the air. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd fancy that. The numbers might say different, but
So it's lightweight, so it's 6 grams lighter than the rest of the heads.
so this should just cannon up in the air, shouldn't it?
In theory.
Go on.
Brett's life flashed before his eyes.
It's not a fitting if you don't hit one of them. Yeah, but it's not nowhere near you. Yeah,
There you go.
that's exactly what you expect, isn't it?
So obviously it could be for, well, it could be for anyone potentially. Like obviously it's designed with a certain player in mind, but you know, we're not going to have the T400.
Yeah.
I believe Ben was saying the T400 is not going to be
Yeah.
a carry-on. This could potentially go to those sort of players. I believe when they were doing the research into it, they put it out to the golfers and asked
Yeah,
what head would they better prefer
yeah.
in terms of launch.
And this is one
spec.
that's not going to be mass sold, is it? It's going to be specifically go get fitted. It's this one.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is definitely something that, I mean, all of our products really should be going and get fit for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, your fitter will have this available for you to try out if you're looking for
Yeah.
the most amount of launch and spin characteristics you can get. I'll give you
I
the
can tell
benefit
with
of
the
doubt
weight.
on that one.
You can tell with the weight.
Yeah, so the last group that we did some fitting with said the same thing. Used to a slightly heavier swing weight at D78,
Yeah.
went into this, couldn't find.
Because the
where the head
strikes,
was.
and I'm not just saying this as a joke, but the strikes have generally been good. But as soon as we put this in, it's just been
It's
a bit more
like
sporadic,
off.
hasn't it?
First one was okay. Yeah, first one was good, 85 feet of height. There we go.
That would be unmanageable though.
Yeah, because you can't time it as
Yeah.
such, yeah. But you can see the benefits of a player that maybe likes the benefits of a player having or liking the look of a T200 but can't get the launch window to match
Yeah.
our 3Ds.
Yeah.
And you go into that sort of spec and it goes up to like the highest hit that you've done today where your peak height's at 93.
And I'm actually pleased that that's fallen in line with exactly where it should be.
Mhm.
Sometimes you do get an anomaly, don't you? Like, oh, maybe that could work, but not for me.
No, just a little bit too lightweight in the head for you, so therefore you get that occasional one where you catch it a little bit thin, but on the other two.
Well, the shank will be in there, John, as well. We'll keep-
Oh no, we don't just take them out. We don't have them on record. We
No,
just have
no.
them for the camera.
Oh, okay.
That's all. But yeah, perfect. You can see does exactly what it wants to do. Straight up in the air, increase in spin, increase in land angle, apex height at 93. So it's a pretty, it's an awesome bit of kit to
Yeah.
have added to our lineup. But let's get you dialed into what you're going to be playing with. Out of the looks of those, I think we touched on it at the beginning. We'll probably look at the T150 because it matches two things: feel, flight window that you like. And then if we could potentially get that land angle up, it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. And how much would you be looking here to potentially mix the set as well? Because I know they do kind of all ergonomically fit really nicely together, don't they?
Yeah, and even more so now with the new design on the T250, and the cross blend looks better through the bag and
Yeah.
fits a bit better, and the lofting is at the top end a lot tighter, so that you can swap a T150 4-iron for a T250 4-iron, and it just blends a lot easier.
Not totally set on my use of the word ergonomic there, but I'm going to go with it anyway.
Pre-
I haven't used the word potentially yet, which people will be happy with. Potentially and delightful are the two words I use a lot. That's when Bobby's here though, not Brett. All Brett gets is Brett for
What do you have, just
use
standard
that
light or
one
flat?
flat, yeah.
Flat.
But I say that,
Yeah.
the last couple of fittings I've done, I'm really trying to get that ball to work right to left.
Okay.
So I think by having it standard, which to me would be upright, if I can start the ball right, the line goal brings it back.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, as long as your club path is on the inside.
Oh, what is the
and-
club path?
So you're outside. So if you want to draw it, you're definitely going to have to get on the inside a little
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, that's been an ongoing battle. But I do like the ball flight we're
bit.
getting.
The ball flight is good. I mean, there is potential to leave it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go where Yeah, let's go here first.
Thank you.
Right.
T150, D3. Straight away it feels like...
The greatest thing about that sleeve is unless you know exactly what it is, you wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, yeah. Again, fitting purposes only.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you got the club, when you purchase the club, they don't have the weight port in the back,
Yeah.
and they don't have the sure fit sleeve.
Yeah.
A total adaptability, so
Yeah.
for us to totally change like weighting, lie, loft, it just
Which is good
allows
because the things have taken a big leap on, haven't they?
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah. Well, that's probably one of our biggest changes from a fitting aspect is the ability to do that and test it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for me as well because I'll be able to see by affecting the loft, I can see how much it's going to affect turf interaction being here off the turf. But like fitters everywhere are going to be able to sit here and go, right, I need to get potentially, we've given him 5 extra yards, but we need the height up.
Yeah.
We can now weaken the loft, test it. Does it help?
Yeah.
Or do we need to change model?
Yeah. Are we looking for anything in particular here, or just kind of gauge? Still
I just want
sounding
you
it
to
out?
hit. I just want you to hit a few shots and let me see what it does with the new setting.
Caught it cleaner.
Little thin.
Yeah, it was.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Very nice. Looks wise, I'm very, very impressed because it's a subtle change, but it's also. You all right, Brett? It's a subtle change, but it's also a nice change.
It's super wet, but yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's really nice. That natural ball striking ability we're talking about.
So no, what's interesting is obviously, which is why when we talk player to player, I've affected that by making it a degree flat and giving you 2 degrees more loft,
Yeah.
and you squeezed it more.
Okay.
So you actually brought the flight down based on where it was originally.
Yeah. Without doing, I haven't tried to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You just swung, and then whether it's because you see more loft you're closing, potentially.
Yeah. Could be a natural inconsistency. What have we done now, John?
So, I'll tell you after you hit,
Okay.
because I don't want you to react.
Very reactionary person, to be fair. That, if I could frame that as a ball flight, that's it. That's what I want. People won't see it because Brett stood over there, but
But what's good is I've gone back into the original setting,
yeah, yeah,
and immediately you've popped it a little bit higher than you did. Now, obviously, as a fitter, we'll always work to the 4Ds where I'm trying to get that up.
yeah.
But any time I've tried to do that, especially when you were here
The
last
distance.
time, no, the centre.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because of where you play and the conditions you play in, you've got a flight window that you want to appeal to.
Yeah,
And if I push it past that, you physically pull it down
yeah,
as I'm giving it to you. So that's great to see, but equally, if I can give you more loft and just say to you, just hit a normal stock shot and let's see what happens,
yeah.
and it does peak,
Mm-hmm.
then you as a player, you can knock that flight down when you're playing those windy conditions. Because
Yeah.
if you came and did a bit of charity day, or you were playing in a competition here and there was no wind,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden everything's coming in super low
yeah.
and you're not getting any
You don't want to be
grab,
one-dimensional just with a punch shot, do you?
then you're having to like try and bounce it in
Yeah.
off the front edge. Or
Thank you. Not going to tell me again now?
I could have gone up in loft, I could have gone down in loft.
Definitely gone up. After the conversation we've just had, if you've gone down, I'll be very disappointed. That
Close.
felt nice.
God, that rain's coming down now.
Yeah. Immediately higher, isn't it? That was a bit heavy as well, but not really affected it too much.
That's 86 feet in the air though.
Yeah.
You say it's a fraction heavy, it wasn't far off.
No, it's still carried okay, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
Spins up at 7.5. There she is.
She's back.
There she is.
We hit one earlier, and it was exactly where
It
the
was
guys
exactly
were stood.
where they were. Nice.
Yeah. That's a shot I'd very rarely play though, you know, that high.
No, but having it in the
As it-
repertoire is
yeah.
better. So like
Yeah.
if you do go and play somewhere and it is coming in at sort of like on average you're closer to 45.
Yeah.
Like our goal is anywhere between 45 and 50. And
Yeah.
you as a player, if I can get you to 45, knowing that you prefer it lower,
Yeah.
that's fine because you can knock it down a little
Yeah.
bit. The only one leaving it out is probably that one there,
Yeah.
where you just.
We
caught
still
it a
carried
little-
it. Still carried okay.
Yeah, and that's a key part about the tech as well. So all the tech in the heads are around those 3Ds and the consistency in flight and the consistency in distance control.
Yeah.
Consistency in ball speed. So you could have a player that's potentially catches one thin and one middle,
Yeah.
and you'll get two different ball flights, but it'll work to get the yardage
Yeah.
for that player, so you're not dropping off masses. Now, 46 at 81 feet, I'd take that.
Yeah.
160 carry, and remember what we said at the beginning, you said 166, 170 was a little bit on the
Yeah,
longer
165's around there, 170's on the long side, definitely, yeah.
So anytime we can get closer to 160, now we've got one in there that you said you caught a little bit on the heavier side.
Yeah.
161, 45,
Yeah.
and you've turned it over a little bit.
Yeah.
Would be in a good spot. Now it'd just be a case of can we get it to start on the target line you want and then draw back.
Yeah. Which is an impressive thing to be able to manage just from a fitting. John's like, we're not there yet. Oh, John.
That's good.
Talk dirty to me. How good's that? That felt fantastic.
166, 44.7, 78 feet height, 7.5 spin. Now, bearing in mind your dynamics are slightly different to most players in the sense that you're trying to play a draw, you come down and across it a little bit. We spoke about that off camera, but when we look at land angle, the reason we focus on land angle so much, and this is probably more so for the viewers at home, your launch and spin basically create that land angle.
Yeah.
So if you tend to crunch the ball, hit a mid to low flight, the launch is going to be lower, which means the spin needs to be on the higher side. So where you want to sit at about 7,
Yeah.
that's fine. But when you hit that low one, if that's not on the higher side, it's coming out the air quicker.
Yeah, dipping, yeah.
So the fact that you can get into the ball a bit more, launch it at 12, spin it at 7.5 and still get 45.
Yeah.
When you eventually do reach your goal of hitting that high draw,
Yeah.
you've got a nice buffer window on a lever system. As launch goes up, spin
Yeah.
comes down a little bit and it levels out.
Yeah.
And then you get that nice high draw and land angle could potentially
It's,
go up
it's
as
just
well.
all coming together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Thank you.
We'll just get like a nice little bit of tungsten weight soon designed for you specifically.
Perfect.
Like
Just behind the
That'd be
hosel.
nice.
Yeah, thanks for that, John. Yep, sound. Other fitting centres are available. See, and that's a skinny one, but that's absolutely fine, isn't it? Yeah. The big thing's been the miss hit. I think the miss hits, apart from, are absolutely bang on. Really
And
nice.
that's the key, right? The consistency. So you as a player, like you've hit that at 158 and all we've lost is a flight window, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's not, your dispersion left to right, it's not going anywhere. That's a great strike.
Yeah. It's as good as I've got that. But I've said that quite a few times, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long bank holiday weekend as well, so like that for me.
And again, you see, because I mean, look at that spread. You want to get Brett on that spread.
Go on,
That's a
Brett, get on
pretty
that
good
spread, son.
On the spread.
Oh, it's first time on a spread.
Yeah, so you can see, as we're trying to get that launch up, sometimes dynamics, if we go too much in loft, you then
Yeah.
squeeze more. We've already tested that. Being in the too weak on a T150 gives you the room to have that launch and spin on the higher side, so that when you crunch into one like that, you still get 75 feet high easy.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by that.
And that's that flight window you want.
Yeah.
But I know full well if you then actually get that draw pattern to be exactly where you want it to be, that's going to be in there.
Yeah.
And a slightly higher window for you and get that pumped right up there. We're not done, we've got to do the long irons. So obviously once you've got a ball speed, so 120, we're going to round that up, 121, 7-iron ball speed. When we're
Yeah.
doing 5-iron, 4-iron, you want to decide where you go in the bag, because I remember you spoke about cross blending, where
Yeah.
the cross blend element comes in. That for us comes in if we're, one, not reaching the apex height we need
Yeah.
with the longer iron, or we're not gaining the ball speed. So we work off 5-mile-an-hour increments.
Yeah.
So for you, your 7-iron is at 121, so we'll hit a 5-iron and a T150. We'd expect that at 131.
Yeah.
If that's not at 131, then we'd look at a T250.
Oh,
And then if,
yeah, I like that.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does actually.
And then that gives you the ideal
Did you hear the penny
gapping.
drop then? Yeah. Thank you.
That's all right. So T150 and a 5-iron.
It's nice that. It's nice that. Look at that.
So obviously with your 7-iron being a little bit weaker, I'd expect the ball speed to be a bit through.
Yeah.
So if it's like 133, then it's fine, because we're going to weaken it by.
So what we're
There you
saying
go.
distance-wise, about 180, between 180 and 185?
Yeah, 180 to 185. And the key is keeping the peak height as well.
Yeah. Oh, box that up. How good was that?
Okay, so 131. Peak height 72. 72, that's exactly the same.
Exactly.
So that can stay.
Ah.
4-iron.
You know what? This is where, for me, this has really come on leaps and bounds as well. It's not just the kind of 7-iron generic, do you fancy 4-iron or not?
Yeah.
I literally thought you was going to go, do you fancy 4-iron? But actually, it's let's try it, let's test it, and let's see.
100%.
So this needs to be a 135 or 136 ball speed,
Correct.
about 190 to 195 carry.
With the apex height
With
being
the
at
apex
72.8.
Don't forget the apex height.
Go.
I'm not pocketing that, I'm just drying it.
I've got one dry.
Brett looked at me as though I was going to pocket that.
So your back turned, John, and you were in. From Yorkshire.
We'd see on his YouTube channel a load of 25 circle golf balls.
Yeah. Who is this man, by the way?
So it's 133. What did we need?
136. Well, it's not terrible. 193
It's not
carry.
terrible, you're
And
correct.
the land angle's a little bit low, isn't it?
A little bit, so you can see 69. So there's an argument that if we hit another one,
Yeah.
you could potentially go there, but for the purpose of the video, what I want you to do is just hit one of these to give a prime example.
Looks nice, that, doesn't it? And what I like about this as well, it's real world environment. It's absolutely pissing it down. And this is, you don't get this often in fitting, do you? If you're in there on the mat, oh, let's just hit another one, let's just hit another one. But actually, you get one chance with a golf shot, don't you? So,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we get like, we'll get a golfer up that goes, he turns up, comes up for the fit-in, wants to have like a half-hour warm-up, and my first question is, what do you do on the weekend? Do you do a half-hour warm-up?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like, yes, we're going to warm up, but that first few swings are the first few that I'll take as like,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to do. So if that golfer is better, when you warm up after 4 or 5 holes, it's just going to get even better.
Yeah.
But he's got to work off that first shot, because
Yeah.
that golfer with that mental side of it, if it does the shot that they don't want to see on their first swing with no warm-up,
Yeah.
they're going to have a negative.
Like, because I'm happy with that, but you're saying we could do better with this, so.
Potentially, yeah.
Get this now.
I mean, especially in this.
This is what I get out of bed for, John. That's bottomy,
At 131.
and I like it as a miss hit. That's nice.
136.6.
That's really nice. And that's high, but I feel like I'd have the ability to flight it down if I wanted to.
76. So we've actually broke your window a little bit, which is good, because if you want a versatile 4-iron,
Yeah.
you've got to hit it into a green, landing at 40, almost 41 degrees, land angle. You've got a new weapon.
And it looks spectacular. Can you get this by Saturday?
I can't make any promises.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's definitely how we would look at doing it, and that's the science behind it. So when we're working with the golfer, it's like you get to hit the product. It isn't any guesswork. Hit it in a 5-iron, hit it in a 4-iron. If it's not working, cross blend it then. Do we get the number? Do we get the height? Yes, we do. It's better fit, better golfer.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem
I'll do the
at all.
outro from the last time I thought we were done.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect.
Thank you very much for your time.
No problem at all. Any questions?
No, but I tell you what, guys, if you've got any questions for John, get in the comments below and let them know, and then we can bombard him via email and he can answer us all. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button. And we're going to do one for Brett now as well. So if you want to see a handicap golfer, check it out. That was really good, that.
So as we went through out there and you experienced 2 different kind of technologies within the heads, 100 and 150 in one, and then you've got the 250 and 350 in the other, along with the utilities. Look at the 150 head. Essentially, you've got kind of one-piece material here with what we call a dual cavity. Can't see it when the back cap's on,
Yeah.
but there is a cavity in there. Within that cavity, we then put really high-density tungsten. So if you feel that,
Oh, yeah.
significant, right?
That's heavy, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
You know how heavy that is? I'm asking you to do 2 things at once, aren't I? Sorry.
So really heavy. We split it heel and toe. We've got the
Yeah.
pattern on that. Nobody else can do it. And it's pretty simple, right? If I was to take that off you, I'm not going to floor you. So put your hands by the side. I'll give you a little push, right?
Yeah.
Now put your arms out wide. You split mass.
Yeah.
Easier for stability. So
Yeah.
pretty simple test, but just shows how you can move that weight heel and toe as far as you possibly can,
Yeah.
you're going to improve the MOI of the golf club.
Yeah.
So trying to do that. Some of the other changes you can see here, slightly deeper pocket in the top cavity. That helps us move weight down, lowers CG. And then we've got a variable thickness face BFT design in here. Again, that's going to improve ball speed, but also move CG down and increase launch. One other thing to increase launch, on the back of this, you can see it in red on our standard irons. Obviously, it's not in red.
Yeah.
But that's our
Oh, I
muscle.
said this to John about a
Yeah.
little bit of, yeah.
That's our muscle channel. In 150, that exists for 7 iron through 3 iron.
Yeah.
We've actually introduced it this time around in the 100s as well, in the 3 and 4 iron. The idea is it's going to give you more speed, it's going to give you higher launch. Again, you're saving material, you can move that down low. So all of that's then giving us higher launch, more peak height in the irons. Last change we've made on the 150 and the 100 is we've actually changed the groove design in 7 iron through wedge. Slightly more aggressive groove, something that's going to give you more spin consistency when you're playing from wet conditions like we've got today out here, or when you're playing from the rough. So a couple of changes there. That's the 100 and 150. Moving into kind of some newer tech, if you like, and some bigger changes in terms of construction into the 250 and 350. Again, we've got the split mass technology.
Got the big red button by the looks of it.
We've got a big red button. Yeah, this is really cool when you actually see the way that they engineer the tungsten into these heads. And the tungsten actually goes right in. Let me get it around the wrong way now. There we go.
It sits under there,
But
doesn't
it actually
it?
sits right into the heel of the golf club.
Yeah.
Again, trying to split that mass as much as you possibly can, right? So that's given us forgiveness. We've then got an L-cup face, which is a forged face design. So it goes into the product, and that gives you that hollow body construction. Okay. Also now means because we've got it this way around, you can see that we've got a singular design. So one piece finish, if you like, on the golf club. That's going to improve the look of the golf club, which is the early feedback we've definitely had, and improve the sound as well. Big red button that you pointed out earlier. So that's our max impact technology.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a polymer insert in the middle of the golf club that sits against the face. The whole idea of this is to give you more consistent ball speed across the whole face.
Yeah.
And it works to do that in a way of. I'm going to give you a trampoline analogy. Okay, imagine we've got a little trampoline here and we bounce a ball out in the middle of it. Ball's going to bounce back. Pretty good from the middle, not so good if you put it on the outside.
Yeah.
That's effectively an unsupported face. That's what you're going to get from it. One of the things you could do is put a rigid structure under the middle of the trampoline.
Yeah.
Now, if you drop it around the outside, it's going to bounce back further because the middle's tight and more taut around the outside, right? That's great until you hit the middle, and then it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
That's not what you want, because that's the area you're intended to hit when you play golf.
Yeah.
So what we've done with Max Impact Technology is essentially put a trampoline in the middle of the trampoline. So now not only have we made it taut around the outside, but we've still got the performance out of the middle.
Right.
And that's what Max Impact Technology does. In our previous T200 and T350 design, we had the badge on the back and the back plate there. That was what we used to put that Max Impact Technology in place. Obviously, it's a polymer finish. What we don't want to do when we put this face on and we weld it into place, we don't want to melt that polymer and that Max Impact technology. However, clever guys in our R&D team and engineering team have come up with a scenario where they're able to put the Max Impact technology through the hole in the toe.
Yeah.
Shipping a bottle kind of scenario, and then they'll weld that finish at the end. So that you never saw that on a finished golf club, right? It looks
No, you
like
didn't.
a
No.
golf club. And then that.
And it would have been easy to leave that as like a screw mark, wouldn't it, if you wanted to? But
it would be. It's not going to look aesthetically pleasing, and not going to be the way that we want it to be. So different finish there. We've also incorporated new grooves into these products, slightly different to the 100 and 150. And the technology that you've seen here, that exists in then the 250U and the 505 as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool new designs.
Yeah,
We're really
fantastic.
pleased with them, and I hope you enjoyed hitting them.
really, thank you very much.
Cool.
Awesome.